I'm getting to this portion of their romance, relationship, love story that gets to the function of existing in this space, not leading up to, not the will they, won't they, not the roadblocks, but the actual, we're in this space and this is where we reside as lovers. And
I told you so.
right now, it is Sunday, so it's Saturday evening, and I'm gonna try to make this next little video go through Sunday. I am currently on chapter 26. Now, all of the big heavy lifting that needed to be done for the first part of the book is done. And I'm now going to move into the latter half of the book. And I've mentioned before that I'm pretty much bridging the end of the first portion to the end of the book. But I don't, because I'm long-winded when it comes to writing, I don't want to go too far off. So I've told myself that I'm just going to do 4 chapters, one from each of the lead's point of view, from both of the lead's point of view. And I am cycling through the different ideas. I've already listed out all the things that I can do to seed in stuff that's going to happen later. And now I'm splitting them between these 4 chapters, but still giving myself room to just kind of go wild like I've been doing with the rest of the book. I want to say that at this point that I'm about to start writing, 3 weeks have passed in this book. It's a pretty tight book, happens over the summer. Yeah, and I think we're going into the 3rd week. I have to go back and do the math, but that's what I'm doing now. So I know that I'm not going to cram everything into this section, but I do want these chapters to be meaningful. And I feel like I have a good handle on making them that way with a few different events that are happening. And when I say events, just like scenes of moments that are, I ideally I would like it to be sort of like a montage of this is an experience and then this experience and this and that to move you through some of the going ons that's happening here. And then I get to one of the more frustrating portions of the book, and not frustrating to write it, but frustrating as far as story is concerned. So that's where I am now. We're gonna get with it and see if I can get these 4 chapters done either by tonight, which I have something to do in about 2.5 hours, or if this will be completed maybe Sunday. So wish me luck. All right, so I have spent some time really diving deep into these next couple chapters. I think I might be able to cut it down to just 3. And I've been rereading the first 2 chapters from the different heroes' point of view. Also their first meeting, and then little kind of skipping around here and there to get details that I may have forgotten that I want to include in this portion of the book. And it's going pretty good. I got a lot done. I'm a little overwhelmed just because there's a lot, and I have taken breaks here and there with writing the book. And so when it was just 3 chapters, it was easy enough to go back and reread. But now that we're at 25 going into 26, it's a little bit more, not difficult, but it's a little bit more labor intensive, and I'm having a good time with it. I don't want to spend so much time planning that I don't execute. So what I think I'm going to do is just make a note to revisit. There has to be a draft 2 anyways, but I need to force myself to just move on and write the next part of the story, and that should be easy enough to do. because I have so much already done. So I don't know, I just need to just commit. Now there is a little bit more planning that I need to do as far as like what I've been doing for every chapter, which is, you know, chapter 3, this and that happens, set up for chapter 4, and then going to chapter 4. So like that part needs to be done. But now that I have all these details out, I'm going to just write it. And I think on the second draft, full draft of like editing this book, I'll probably go back and add some more if I don't do it, but whatever. Long story short, I need to start. And so that's what I'm doing next, is I'm putting fingers to keys, pen to paper, and I'm writing chapter 26.
I don't need your approval to be myself. I got that on myself. Gracefully, gotta keep it cozy. I'ma take it slowly, one step at a time till my time is up. Why you stay mad at me? We gon' make mistakes, we gon' disagree. Are you so proud of me?
So on chapter 26, I had been planning so much of today has been like sleeping and trying to plot out these next couple of chapters. I decided F all that. So I have enough to work with, like a nice little kind of blueprint, but I'm not about to worry about all of this extra stuff that I have been trying to like document to put into each chapter. I'm not doing all that. At this point, you know what they own, you know what type of time they own, you know the work that it took for them to get to this point. Like all of this, y'all know when you read it, you know. So I but I am running into a little bit of an issue, and it is with, I'm getting to this portion of their romance, relationship, love story that gets to the function of existing in this space, not leading up to, not the will they, won't they, not the roadblocks, but the actual, we're in this space and this is where we reside as lovers. And it's not difficult, but there's so much that I want to do, and I know I need to pull back. I don't have to do as much. Every idea is not necessary. And though I have a lot that I want to get out, I'm not really worried about word count, because again, this is something that's self-indie published, so I can do what the hell I want. But I also don't want to take up 20,000 words trying to get out all of these ideas when it could take, you know, 5,000, 7,000. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to bog the story down with all of these different ideas when they could be used in another book. Or even if I add something on like a later draft, like I'll have that in the chamber. And so that's what I'm doing now. I am just on chapter 26, and I know I ended on chapter 26 last time, but this is me actually getting through, working through some of those things to bridge the end of the last part to the beginning of the rest of the book. Also, we're on Sunday in the 8 o'clock hour. I have about 4 hours till midnight. I know for a fact this book is not going to be done by then. My deadline, again, remember, was the 1st, so 11:59 on Sunday night, because tomorrow will be the 1st of the month. But I don't care. I'm not really too worried. I'm just going to keep on trekking, and it'll probably take me another, I'll say probably 2 weeks to get this done. But yeah, I'll give whatever update may come after this. I'm hoping though to get through at least the next 2 chapters before the night is through. Before the night is through, I come to you. You will be the one. So that's the plan. Again, thank y'all for following me on this journey. I'll give an update whenever. And I'll probably give a final update of like where I am with the word count, even though I know I'm not going to make the deadline. Right now, I'm at 53,863, and this chapter 26 has 469 words. I'm not done. I just like really got deep in the weeds with it, and we'll see what happens. So stay on the lookout. So I'm currently writing this sex scene, and that isn't the problem. I think I don't know where I'm going from here. Like, I know where I need to go, but something is not clicking for me. And I knew sex was gonna happen, but I think one of my concerns is I don't know if I wanted this to be a sex, like an open door sex scene, or if I wanted fade to black. And it's an issue, not really, but it's an issue because I want to make sure that whatever I decide stays consistent with the books. And I truly feel like there doesn't need to be a sex scene in the book. Like, I could write this book without it, but I think it would be unrealistic. I don't know, because I'm wondering if, like, if I write the sex scene or write it in a different document and then move forward with the story and see if it still reads the same without it. I don't know. I think this may be the first like stumbling block, roadblock that I have with this story, because this would be one of maybe 2 sex scenes in this book. And a lot of this isn't a book that I'm writing with like these tropes in mind, like, you know, best friends, brother, and forced proximity. I don't care about none of that. I'm just trying to get out the story that I enjoy, and then if they find out when I'm done whatever tropes fit, then, you know, maybe say, okay, this is what's in the book. But with or without that sex scene, it is such a minor part of the story. Well, it's not necessarily minor because you still, I don't know. This is something I'm going to have to try to work through, because it's slowing up my progress. So I think I might just write it in a different document just to have those words, and then move on with the story as if it was a closed door scene or a fade to black scene, and then see what happens. I think I might do that. Also, I'm talking about tomorrow's the 1st. That's not the case. Tomorrow's the last day of the month, so I have a whole nother day to try to get this done. And I'm honestly a little tired, so I might just lay it down for right now and get up in the middle of the night as I do and type away. But now that I have somewhat of a plan, I think this will be easier to move forward. Okay, so it has been some time. I don't know how many days have passed. I think 1, maybe 2. I don't care. Like, I have been going through some things. So I am on chapter 28. So a lot of the issue that had me even take a little bit of a break is that I got to a sex scene. I can't remember if I mentioned that. Probably did. I don't know. I got to a sex scene, and I was running into this issue where I didn't know if I needed the sex scene to be there or not, and was I gonna put it in, was I not? So I've gone ahead and, like, with that time away from the project, come back with like fresh eyes, and I was able to finish out that scene. Now, it isn't as long as I intended it to be, but I think it's just long enough that, you know, I could add more later if need be. But I feel like having got over the hump of the sex scene and then moving over to the aftermath of it, I feel pretty confident with it. Now I am in that space where I was like coming up with a few different scenes to bridge the end of the event to the beginning of the end of the book, and I ended up plotting that out too, and so I'm right on track for that. And it is late. I don't know if my sinuses are whooping my butt or if it's allergies or what. I know the weather is changing a bit. I am going through something in the sinus region that is whooping my butt, and this is a new development. I was not feeling like this earlier, which is kind of a lie because I've been sneezing all day, but like this congestion is killing me. So I'm trying to hopefully, I just started chapter 28. If I can get through this, I have one more chapter, possibly two, because depending on how long chapter 29 is, it may be broken up into two. I don't mind having longer chapters, but I think the longest one I have is maybe like low 40, like low 4,000s. Nothing. Well, actually, no. The high 3,000s is the highest, is the longest chapter that I have, and so I don't mind going over that, but it has to make sense. So that being said, I'm going to try to do that. This congestion is whooping my butt. I am trying my very best to stick it out, but my God, today I just want to curl up in the bed and sleep for the next 3 days. But I'm feeling pretty good about where I am. Some other things have been introduced, and these are things that are going to help me and that kind of tie into other books that have already been written and some that have not. That's not really the important part. The important part is that I'm past the sex scene. I'm moving on to the fallout, and I will be well on track to finish this book. Oh, the other thing is, again, time is irrelevant. I know I did not meet my deadline of the 1st because today is the 1st, so I am not done clearly, but I'm still going to push through, and hopefully in the next week or so, if I can get at it like I was that first week of getting this book done, be completely finished. So either this will be the end or there'll be some more added. If this is the end, I'm right now sitting at 56,205 words, and that's with just the 60 words I have here in chapter 28. So that's where I am. If this is the end, thank you so much for watching. If not, keep on tuning in and subscribe and all that other good stuff. I'm gonna go take some Claritin, and y'all have a good one. All right.
I've been high, working hard, just so I